Nick made it interesting for you guys there in the ninth. He didn't look like he was too pleased with the way it turned out.
No, and you're exactly right about that. That's why I went out to the mound, because his body language when he gave up a couple hits kind of bothered me a little bit. I don't want our guys to want to give up hits, but in Nick's role, that's what his job is, to come in with a 3-run lead and pound the strike zone. And if someone makes him pay by getting a hit, and I just wanted him to get back on his own side. He wasn't making bad pitches. In fact, I took the blame for it. I said I made some bad decisions on calls I made. They put the ball, they stung the ball and put it in play, and they made us pay for it a little bit. But he had to get back with himself, and he did. I don't want to discount what Ethan Bennett did behind the plate too, because it allowed Nick to throw some really nasty pitches, and Ethan putting his body in front of the ball to keep the ball in front allowed us to win that game.
What was his response like to you then? Because he did get it straightened out after he came out. He got the 2 big strikeouts.
Well, Nick can be an emotional guy at times because he's a kind of a perfectionist, but he's a pretty low-key guy too, and he's kind of level-headed, and I think he was able to get back with himself and have that mature attitude that he most of the time shows.
Before Nick came in, it was Kidd and Steckenrider back-to-back that sort of settled things down for you.
Boy, I just said in there in the locker room, I sure would love to see that Drew Steckenrider each and every time, because that was pretty special. I don't know what the readings were. It doesn't matter what the readings were. I knew that he was coming in and throwing a fastball by a lot of guys, and he looked really, really special. Not only that, but at the plate too. And I thought Robbie kind of was wobbly early on, and then he settled down and got with himself. So Robbie's had some rough outings the last week. We've fixed some mechanical stuff with him, and I think he's back on it now again. None of those guys I wanted to go too far with, because we have a weekend series this Friday. So a lot of people could have been saying, boy, why'd they take Steckenrider out? Well, we got games coming up Friday that are just as important as tonight, so got to look down the road too.
What does this mean about your rotation right now, at least just for this weekend? What will you do?
Well, I had already announced Godley's going to go Friday for sure, and Blunt's going to go Saturday. Right now, it's a TBA on Sunday, but my thinking is it's going to be Steckenrider. One of the reasons why I changed that is because Drew hasn't been going deep into games, and we're going to the bullpen too early on Friday, and I want to try to get away from that. I think Drew has thrown good at times. He threw great tonight, and like I said, if we can get 90% of what he did tonight the majority of the time, then it's going to make it a lot easier for us to have success.
How about the play that Maddox made at the end of the game?
Unbelievable. It comes down to a ball stung, and I said it to the coach when I shook his hand that those guys played hard. They didn't come in with a great record, but I had told the team before the game, teams come in here and want a piece of you. It makes their season to come into an arena like this and play well. But Maddox saved our life with that play at the end of the game. And to me, in this kind of game, a midweek game, when you give up 13 hits, we didn't have a hiccup defensively. We have a hiccup where we give up 90 feet somewhere along the line, and this score is probably different in the negative for us. So the good defense throughout the game helped us preserve that win.